Hello and welcome to another video of Trivia McMuffin. Today I am reviewing the cult psychological horror masterpiece of 1968 directed by Roman Polanski, Rosemary's Baby. Of course, at start it was not as I suspected, because I always saw it in like the top 10 psychological films, because I love psychological horror movies. It's just in the head, it's an imagination, it's just brilliant, and I'm so into psychiatry a lot. And I thought it was completely different. I had no idea that the neighbours were Satanists, and her husband was a troubled actor who wanted to get to fame more. So he decided to sell his soul and regain his fame. But of course they needed a deal, and so the way it happened to be is Satan's son would have to be born on June 1966, so that's 666, of course. And it was just a well done film. So if I just go on to the other page, I was a little bit shocked that, I mean, of course, it was a controversial movie at the time. But I don't understand why it's an 18. And it's also known as the most film that is stuck to a book. So I saved people's lives with that information then. The budget is 3.2 million and the box office was 33,300,000 million. Okay, so the plot, of course, is well, of course you already know the plot I just said about the wife expecting the baby, so they want to have a baby. So then, of course, he sells his soul and all blah blah blah, bollocks. So then, of course, the neighbour is incredibly irritating. Of course, she is then very, very ill once she is consumed to be pregnant. She goes through all these pregnant tests, but then she has these sort of pills and weird necklaces with a horrible smell, and of course these weird oat milkshakes. With this, I forgot what they use in the drinks. It was something, but I can't remember. And she was getting incredibly ill, but then the pain went. A lot of stress went after the parties and all, and the baby was coming around. But then she started getting really suspicious when she started noticing like ear piercings or something in the guy's ear. But I mean, that's no big deal. But then her friend Hutch, he is suspicious about this word that the guy Satanist says, so he searches up, and of course, as most Satanists do, they like putting spells on people. So he is in a coma, but he dies, of course, Hutch, which was quite a shame. I liked Hutch, he was good. He died, but then he sends a book to Rosemary, and it's gives information, it gives her clues. It shows her the way to the truth by finding out that Roman, the neighbour, is the son of a famous Satanist from the book. And of course she finds out about witches' covens, and they make sacrifices with children's blood and all. And so then she wants to move out, she wants to get rid of those neighbours, she never wants to talk to them again, but of course the husband is not happy with that. He, of course, is getting his fame, you know, he sold his soul. And, of course, this is the power when she's very big now, as you can see. This is the part where she is having her bad times in the head. She's just having these total psychological problems after Hutch dies, her great friend. But then she goes see a doctor who she trusts, Dr. Hill, and she gets vitamin pills. But then That's right. The Satanist's friend, Doctor, is telling them terrible lies, of course, and to stay on these products. So once the baby is delivered, she has no idea about the baby. They told her that it died, and she's hiding the pills, of course, underneath. And she gets the courage, and well, she had the courage anyway. But she gets up and just totally gets the big, huge knife and goes and finds a secret room. There's like a secret temple, of course, that, as most of these people use, to find that they have a satanic little party of theirs in the house. And it turns out that the baby was a devilish sort of baby, and you don't see it, but it would ruin it, to be honest. Its eyes were horrible. It was implied, and they were just total god haters, the characters, and of course that she needed to get out. She threatens them with a knife, but it just all ends as it did from the beginning of the film, where it goes away from Rosemary, out of the fields, to the Rosemary's, out of New York, Manhattan. And that was basically the end. Of course, it was a really, really good film. I mean, he hasn't really done anything else interesting. I would check Chinatown out, that'd be good. But Rosemary's Baby is a very good psychological horror film. It kind of got a thriller towards it at the end, when you think about it. I can understand why it shocked people at the time. But, yeah. Of course, at the beginning, where they had a friend who lived with the neighbours, and they had a little conversation, chit-chat, while washing up bubbles or something. She died, apparently committed suicide, but of course they lied, and she was used for one of their thingies, sacrifices. But then, before she was had sexual intercourse with the devil, they had this strange, really good parts of where the boat, and of course it had something to do with Catholicism, and she was naked, of course, and weird parts of some guy in the desert, then some guy who can't come onto a ship, but she's led, of course, into the sort of Michelangelo art, and she's led to the temple. That's basically the film. There's more, but this is just a film review. Okay, yeah, I mean, the characters were very good. The characters, of course, Mia Farrow as Rosemary, Woodhouse, John Cassavetes as Guy Woodhouse, Ruth Gord as Minnie Cassavetes, Sidney Blackmer as Roman Cassavetes, and Stephen Mercato, and Maurice Evans as Hutch. More on, but I don't really want to read it. Of course, it was based on a book, and that's it, really. 68, yeah. It is a very, very good film, and I really enjoyed it. So, Rosemary's Baby, I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. It was a very good film, but there was something, it wasn't so, I saw the 18 certificate and I thought, like, so why is it 18? I was disappointed that there was really nothing in it. Yeah, it had a good deal of nudity for time, of course. Of course, the subject of the story, you know, about Satanism and devil raping, and of course, I understand why it gave people a shock, but it had its violent terms, the blood effect, of course, on the dead bodies, and just the contents of it, and the implication, the psychologicalness of the film. But it was well acted, I must say, and very good. So 8 out of 10, yeah. I'm Chippy McMuffin, I'm signing off. But first, I want to thank you very much for all your support, and it's all appreciated. Request any album or film as you want. If the people that have requested, of course, I've done my graphic novels, my downfall. I've done my film reviews. I can't find a graphic novel, Hills Have Eyes, but I will be looking into it. But thank you very much for requesting and always being there. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Again, it does me a huge favour. Have a nice day. God bless and stay safe. Thank you very, very much. I'm Chippy Muffin. Goodbye.